WWE Monday Night Raw results, the 13th of February 2023. The Elimination Chamber Go-Home edition of WWE Raw opens up on the USA Network with the standard intro video. We now live from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York City as Kevin Patrick welcomes us. He's joined at ringside by Corey Graves. We go right to the ring and Becky Lynch is already out with Adam Pearce. We see how WWE Hall of Famer Lita joined forces with Lynch to fight Damage Control last week. Fans chant Becky as she takes the mic and says the man has come back around to Brooklyn. She welcomes everyone and introduces Pearce to boos. Lynch says it felt good to beat Bayley in the steel cage last week, and shout out to Lita for having her back. Fans chant Lita. Now, Lynch apologizes for being so weird to Lita last year, and says she's a true legend. Lynch says she's been so distracted she didn't realize her path to WrestleMania 39 isn't so clear. She goes on and says she likes fighting herself into things, and Pearce likes making fights. Lynch has an offer to fight in the Elimination Chamber tonight, so what does Pearce think? Fans pop but the music interrupts and out comes Bayley. She says Lynch is a bigger idiot than these fans if she thinks she's getting in the chamber. Bayley says Lita had to win the match for Lynch last week, so Pearce should void the result and put Bayley in the chamber. They go on arguing about the chamber and who should challenge at WrestleMania until the music interrupts and out comes Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair. Belair likes where this is going because she likes to fight the best of the best. Belair suggests Pearce let them fight to get in the chamber. Pearce makes Belair vs Lynch vs Bayley for the main event. If Bayley or Lynch win, they're in the chamber. If Belair wins, nothing changes and both will not be allowed in the chamber. Pearce makes it official and all three stare each other down as Belair's music starts up. Still to come, the Brock Lesnar vs Bobby Lashley contract signing for WWE Elimination Chamber. Also, a Raw vs SmackDown 6-woman match, a special edition of Miz TV with Seth Rollins, and more. Byron Saxton is backstage with the Judgment Day, minus Rhea Ripley. Saxton asks if they're ready for their big week. Dominic Mysterio is confident in his stablemates. He just talked with Ripley and she's still on a promotional tour, but she's excited for WrestleMania and just as excited for Valentine's Day. Balor says tonight they have the Street Profits and if they want the smoke, they're about to get rolled up, and smoked up. The Street Profits vs the Judgment Day. We go back to the ring and out comes the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. They hit the ring and pose as we go to commercial. Back from the break and the Profits wait in the ring as the Judgment Day comes out next, Finn Balor and Damian Priest with Dominic Mysterio. Graves hypes Balor and Rhea Ripley vs WWE Hall of Famers Edge and Beth Phoenix at Elimination Chamber. The bell rings and Ford starts off with Priest now. Priest takes control and he corner with big strikes. Then Edge drops Ford as he charges in. Balor tags in with a big stomp for 2. Balor and Ford tangle until Ford nails a big jumping kick. Dawkins tags in and they take out Balor to send him to the floor. Priest charges in and they double team him face first into the mat, then send him to the floor. The Profits fly to take Priest back down as we go to a picture-in-picture commercial. Back from the break and Priest has Ford up top for a big back superplex but Ford counters in midair and they both land hard. Dawkins and Balor tag in, trading a fence now. Dawkins runs the ropes, then knocks Priest off the apron into the announce table, then hits the flying back elbow to Balor. Dawkins goes on and hits the silencer. Dawkins misses the corner splash as Balor moves but Ford tags in for the double team. Ford covers for 2 but Priest makes the save just in time as a worried Dominic looks on. The Profits hit the huge super blockbuster from the corner and Dawkins covers for 2 but Balor kicks out just in time. Dawkins sends Priest to the floor, then Ford runs the ropes for a big dive to take him down at ringside. Dominic interferes but Dawkins takes him out. Balor takes advantage with a sling blade to Dawkins, then the corner dropkick. Balor goes to the top and hits coup de grace on Dawkins for the pin to win. Winners, the Judgment Day. After the match, the music hits as the Judgment Day stands tall. Ford checks on Dawkins but Priest runs over and knocks Ford out. The music hits and out comes Edge and Beth Phoenix to a big pop. Edge fights off Balor and Priest, then sends them retreating while Phoenix manhandles Dominic in the ring. She goes for the glam slam but Rhea Ripley surprises everyone and makes her presence known, decking Phoenix and saving Dominic. Ripley with a riptide to Phoenix as fans boo and Dominic cheers her on. Edge rushes in to check on his wife as Mysterio and Ripley regroup at ringside, laughing at the Grit couple. The Judgment Day stands together on the entranceway, taunting Edge and Beth. Still to come, the Lesnar vs. Lashley contract signing. Back to commercial. Back from the break and we see NFL Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes with his custom WWE title belt after Sunday's Super Bowl VI win. Graves and Patrick congratulate Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. We go back the ring and Adam Pearce is waiting for a contract signing. The music hits and out first comes Brock Lesnar, who tips his hat and is all smiles. We see what happened last week between Lesnar and Bobby Lashley with Lesnar delivering two big F5s. Lesnar stands at the table and tosses his chair out to the ringside area. Pearce introduces Lesnar and mentions how he's already signed the contract, but he needs a second signature to make it official. Lesnar interrupts and tells Pearce to get to the point. Lesnar tells Lashley to get his ass out here and sign the contract. The music hits and out comes a group of 12 or so security guards now. They stand on each side of the entranceway. More security comes out with a table and chair now, setting them up on the ramp. Lesnar is not happy. Lashley is out next. Pearce says he doesn't know what this is, but Lashley can come to the ring. Lashley says it's not going down like this isn't the Brock Lesnar show where he gets his way. Lashley recalls pinning Lesnar and says he's in the driver's seat, so they're doing this on his terms. Lashley takes a seat at his table on the stage, and Lesnar tells him to get his ass in the ring. Lashley had his agent, his manager, his lawyer, his representative and even his kids look at Lesnar's contract. Fans give Lashley the what? Treatment. Pearce tells Lashley to come sign the contract and Lashley is not sure if he is going to. Lesnar tells Lashley to come sign the paper. Fans chant Bobby's scared. Now and Lesnar laughs. Lesnar says if Lashley doesn't come sign, he's going to come out there and beat his ass unconscious and sign it for him. Lashley says Lesnar doesn't have the balls to do anything face to face. Lesnar exits the ring with the contract in hand. He's met by security guards but he begins laying them out. Lashley then catches Lesnar and runs him over, turning him inside out. Lashley with a spear now. Lashley walks down to ringside and grabs the contract. He brings it back to Lesnar, signs it, then places it on Lesnar's chest. Fans pop for Lesnar as Lashley walks off. Lesnar grabs the contract and struggles to get back up. Still to come, Mia Yim vs Piper Niven. Back to commercial. Mia Yim vs Piper Niven. Back from the break and out comes Piper Niven to the ring. Mia Yim is out next. We see what happened last week to lead to this match. The bell rings and Niven drops Yim with ease to start. Niven talks some trash and goes to work but Yim evades her. Yim tries for a suplex but Niven just falls on top of her for two. Yim and Niven tangle now, and Yim nails a tornado DDT for a 2 count. Yim unloads against the ropes and in the corner. Niven fights out and levels Yim, then hits a senton for a close 2 count. Niven stalks Yim and works her around the ring now, stomping away. Niven stands on Yim as the referee warns her. Niven rocks Yim into the corner and delivers a big chop. Yim counters a slam and nails a kick. Niven blocks Seat defeat, but Niven catches her with the Loch Ness Slam for the pin to get the fairly easy win. Winner, Piper Niven. After the match, Niven stands tall as the music hits. We go to replays as Niven celebrates. We get a video package on recent drama surrounding undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions the Usos and how Jey Uso showed up to help Jimmy Uso retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles over Braun Strowman and Ricochet this past Friday. We also see Jey saying he's unsure if he's still with the Bloodline, Paul Heyman eavesdropping, Sami Zayn's secret meet-up backstage with Jey where he said he acknowledges Jey, and how Heyman later told Jimmy to stay at home with his brother this week to watch from there because sometimes you see things on TV that you don't see live. The announcers hype tonight's triple threat main event. Back to commercial. Back from the break and Kathy Kelly is backstage with Baron Corbin. She asks about the split from WWE Hall of Famer JBL last week and the comments he made. Corbin says it's been a real depressing week, but Kathy interrupts him and says we have to go to the ring because something is happening. The camera cuts to the ring and Sami Zayn is out in all black. He takes the mic to a pop and says he's not here to hold up the show, but there's someone he needs to say something important to. And he's not sure if he'll have the chance to say this after WWE Elimination Chamber. Sami knows Cody Rhodes is back there, so buddy, come out to this ring and indulge me right now. The music hits and out comes Rhodes to a big pop as well. Fans chant for Cody as he takes the mic. Rhodes welcomes Zayn to Raw and asks what he wants to talk about. Sami says Cody set the world on fire last week with his verbal confrontation with Paul Heyman, and for good reason, but one thing he said Sami can't stop thinking about, when he said it's looking more and more like it will be Rhodes versus Zayn at WrestleMania 39. Sami came all this way to look Cody in his eyes and ask if that was just lip service or does he actually believe Sami can beat undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns this Saturday. Fans chant yes. Now, Cody says his bandwidth has been dedicated to saying he's going to win the titles, so he doesn't have enough to BS Sami, so when he said he thinks he can beat Reigns, he meant it. He believed it when he said Sami will most likely be his WrestleMania opponent. Fans chant this is awesome. Now, Cody says respectfully, he doesn't think that is about that, it's what Sami believes and if he thinks he can beat Reigns. Sami asks if Cody wants the truth. Fans sing Olay. Now, Sami says truth is, he doesn't know, because Cody hasn't seen what he's seen while in the trenches with the Bloodline for 9 months. They always find a way, and this thing about Reigns being in God mode isn't a catchphrase, he really is as good as he says he is and he's operating at a higher level. Sami goes on about Reigns' dominance and asks if he's supposed to believe he's really the one to take down Reigns after all this. Sami does believe he's capable of beating Reigns. He's capable of winning the title, and of being WrestleMania a main event material. He has to believe that with every fiber of his being, because if not, no one else will, but he does not know if he will walk out of Montreal as the champion this weekend. Fans chant you can do it. Now, Cody goes on about how the fans know. Cody hasn't been where Sami has with the Bloodline, but he knows there's dissension within the Bloodline and that's because of Sami. Cody gets fired up when talking about how all of this is because of Sami. He says Reigns may be in God mode, so put it on a t-shirt because it sounds better but Reigns is just a man. Cody says he intends to finish his story, but Sami needs to finish his. Cody says just one more thing, he doesn't want to see Sami on Raw next Monday because he'd rather see him at WrestleMania. Cody points up at the WrestleMania 39 sign and Sami looks up at it. Sami and Cody stare at each other. Sami nods and exits, going back to the barrier as Cody's music starts back up. Nikki Cross and Carmella are backstage now. Carmella asks Cross where she's been. Cross says playing with her new friends. Carmella asks what friends? Never mind, forget about it. Carmella just wants to get through tonight and focus on Saturday. Carmella asks about their other teammate, and Asuka appears in her mask. Cross and Asuka are both laughing now with Carmella in the middle. She says they're both so weird, then she walks off. Cross and Asuka stare at each other. Candice LeRae walks up and asks Cross why she keeps following her around. Cross just laughs at her, then walks off. Still to come, a Raw vs SmackDown 6-woman match. Back to commercial. Back from the break and Kathy Kelly is with Baron Corbin again. He says he's better off without WWE Hall of Famer JBL, who was just giving him advice while hobbling around in his stupid cowboy hat. He says JBL is a has-been, in the past, so forget about him. Corbin says it's time to remind people who he is. He's sick of being disrespected. Corbin knocks Kathy for interrupting his interview to go to Sami Zayn in the ring. He goes on about how Sami can't beat Roman Reigns, and how he was the last person who actually beat Reigns. Corbin says he would have won the Royal Rumble if he wasn't blindsided by Brock Lesnar, then he would have went to WrestleMania to beat Reigns again. He knocks Cody Rhodes for winning, and says Reigns will walk through him as well. We see Cody walking through the curtain behind Corbin as Corbin continues taking shots. He stops to listen. Corbin isn't impressed with Cody and doesn't know why people are. Corbin says Cody is a joke, so his brother, so was his father, and so is his dog. Cody attacks Corbin from behind and fights him into the gorilla position. Cody yells for a referee to follow them to the ring. Rhodes beats Corbin to the stage, and down the ramp, all while still wearing his suit. Cody rolls Corbin in the ring but Corbin beats him down. Corbin tells the referee to ring the bell. Cody Rhodes vs Baron Corbin. The bell rings as Cody Rhodes sends Baron Corbin to the floor, then he nails a suicide dive. Cody takes off his shirt and jacket, then beats Corbin around the ringside R. Rhodes tosses Corbin into the timekeeper's area. Cody breaks the count and comes back over but Corbin decks him. Cody blocks a slam and sends Corbin face first into the ring post. Corbin works Cody over at ringside, then brings him on top of the announce table. They brawl on top of the table, then off, as Cody sends Corbin into the steel ring steps. They bring it back in and Cody hits some signature offense, then the Cody cutter for a big pop. Cody points to the WrestleMania 39 sign, then delivers Crossroads in the middle of the ring for the pin to win. Winner, Cody Rhodes. After the match, Cody stands tall as the music hits. Rhodes celebrates. Natalya, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are backstage talking about Bayley and Becky Lynch trying to get into the Elimination Chamber. Liv and Natalya argue until Raquel yells at them to stop and focus on tonight's match, save it for Saturday. Liv's music hits and she heads out. Liv Morgan, Natalya and Raquel Rodriguez vs Asuka, Nikki Cross and Carmella. We go right to the ring for tonight's Raw vs SmackDown 6-woman match as Liv Morgan comes out first. Mike Rome does the introductions as Liv hits the ropes to pose. Back to commercial. Back from the break and out comes Natalya, then Raquel Rodriguez to join Natalya in the ring. Carmella is out first for her team, followed by Nikki Cross. Asuka is out last. The bell rings with Raquel starting off with Cross. Carmella tags in and she wants Natalya. Natalya comes in but Carmella shoves her. They go at it and Natalya tries for an early sharpshooter in the middle of the ring. Cross runs in and breaks the hold. Raquel brawls with Cross, which brings in Asuka and Liv to fight as well. Asuka, Cross and Carmella are sent to the floor as the SmackDown superstars stand tall. We go to a picture-in-picture commercial. Back from the break and Carmella has Natalya grounded in a body scissors. We see how Carmella dominated Natalya during the break. Natalya powers up with a scoop slam now. Cross and Liv tag in at the same time now. Liv unloads and kips up for a pop. Liv with a back corner splash, then a high knee. Lift with a middle rope dropkick. Asuka tags in with kicks and punches to lift to take her down. Asuka with a big knee to lift for 2 as Natalya makes the save. Asuka sends Natalya into the ring post. Raquel catches Carmella off the top but cross jumps on Raquel's back. Asuka kicks Raquel down to save her 2 partners. The Raw superstars taunt their opponents now while Natalya and Rodriguez are on the outside. Cross turns around to a big kick from Asuka, then a German suplex. Asuka does the same 2 moves to Carmella. Asuka rocks Liv and drops her into the Asuka lock for the submission win in the middle of the ring. Winners, Asuka, Carmella and Nikki Cross. After the match, Asuka stands tall and looks on. Alpha Academy is backstage. While Otis eats a hot dog, Chad Gable talks about how they were on top of the world last year but something went wrong. He says don't worry because he will rewrite some of the Academy curriculum. Gable snatches the hot dog and says these are bad for you. He tosses it and it hits Mansoor in the face as Maxima male models walk up. Maxine Dupree introduces herself to Otis as the director of talent for Maxima male models. She says they are looking for the face and physique for their new campaign. She asks Otis if he's ever considered modeling before. Gable thinks she's talking to him and he says he does take care of his body, and has done some modeling, but sees himself as more of a role model. Mansoor and Mace crack jokes on Gable until Maxine hushes them. Maxine says she was actually talking to Otis, not Otis. Otis likes the sound of this. She hands him her business card and says she will be in touch. Gable snatches the card as they walk off. Otis apparently wants the card back. Bronson Reed walks up and stops to look them up and down. Reed walks off to the ring as we go to commercial. Bronson Reed vs Mustafa Ali. Back from the break and out comes Bronson Reed. Mustafa Ali is out next as we see last week's backstage segment that led to this match. The bell rings and Ali strikes but it does nothing but get himself hurt. Reed attacks and Ali uses his speed until Reed flattens him with a running splash. Ali keeps fighting but Reed dumps him to the floor. Reed with a flying elbow off the apron. Reed brings it back in but Ali dropkicks him off the apron to the floor. Ali flies but Reed catches him in midair, then launches him into a few chairs against the barrier inside the timekeeper's area. Ali lands hard. Reed tosses chairs to ringside, then rolls Ali back in. Reed comes back in but Ali blocks the powerbomb, then nails a tornado DDT. Reed kicks out at 1. Ali rolls at Reed for a move but Reed levels him with a lariat. Reed goes up top for the tsunami splash for the pin to win. Winner, Bronson Reed. After the match, Reed stands tall as the music hits and we get replays. We see what happened earlier tonight with the Judgment Day, the Street Profits, Edge and Beth Phoenix. Kathy Kelly is backstage with Edge and Beth now. Edge goes on about being sick and tired of the Judgment Day after all that's happened. He says they got one over on he and Beth tonight, but it won't matter at Elimination Chamber because what happens won't be pretty. Beth says they will remind the Judgment Day exactly why they're called the Grit Couple. We go back to the ring and out comes The Miz for a must-see edition of Miz TV. Back to commercial. Back from the break and The Miz welcomes us to Miz TV. He then introduces tonight's guest and out comes Seth Rollins as fans begin singing his theme song. Rollins has large red clown boots and Miz asks, "What are those?" Rollins says it's called style and Miz would know nothing about that. Miz helps Rollins isn't wearing those in the Elimination Chamber, because that structure needs your undivided attention. Miz feels like Rollins' attention has been divided lately between Logan Paul and the Chamber. Rollins says Brooklyn didn't come here tonight to talk about the dumpster fire of a human being, they came to sing. Fans sing Rollins' theme again. Miz says if he wanted to hear singing, he would have went to see Taylor Swift. Rollins says Miz is just jealous he got tickets to Swift and Miz didn't. They go on about Paul, and Miz brings up how Rollins was eliminated in the Royal Rumble by Paul. Miz says Rollins discussed Paul in different interviews, but why won't he discuss Paul here in WWE? Rollins yells, "Shut up, Mike." Rollins says he doesn't want to talk about Paul because he points at the WrestleMania 39 sign. Rollins says his whole life all he ever wanted to do is headline WrestleMania, beyond the marquee. Rollins goes on and says even Miz loves that WrestleMania dream, but Paul doesn't. Rollins says Paul is selfish and soulless, and all he cares about is lining his own pockets, getting famous at anyone's expense, and the reason he doesn't want to say Paul's name in a WWE ring is because he doesn't deserve it. Fans pop. He says all Paul wants in life is attention, but what he needs is his teeth kicked in. Miz asks if Rollins is just jealous. Rollins says Miz is stupid, but not that stupid. Miz says he's not stupid. Rollins asks Brooklyn to help him out here. Is Miz stupid? Fans respond with a yes. And then they chant yes. But Miz lashes out about not being stupid. He says he and Rollins are the only two WWE Grand Slam champions here, but only one headlined WrestleMania, and that's Miz. Miz goes on until Rollins drops him, then puts him back down with a shot to the face with a set chair. WWE United States Champion Austin Theory pulls Rollins from the ring and they go at it. Miz takes advantage and attacks, then brings Rollins in. Rollins escapes a skull-crushing finale, then super kicks Miz in the middle of the ring. Rollins plays to the crowd as they sing, then he nails a stomp to Miz. Theory runs back in and drops Rollins with the ATL. Theory mounts Rollins with the title, taunting him and talking trash. Theory says he's done with Rollins, and on Saturday, everyone will see that he does matter. Theory raises the title to Boogs as his music hits. Rick Boogs is backstage warming up when Elias approaches. We see MVP, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander talking in the background. Elias talks about how he and Boogs are similar, but he doesn't want Boogs stressing out over being compared to the legend of Elias. Elias tells Boogs to not let it get him down if he loses tonight. Elias says good luck, but if he wins tonight, maybe they can do a collaboration one day. Boogs is fired up. He says he's born and bred to shred, and tonight Thick Rick is going to shred Miz. Boogs gets psyched up some more and says he's booging out. Boogs walks off as Elias looks a bit shocked. Rick Boogs versus The Miz. We go to a picture-in-picture commercial as the camera cuts back to the ring and The Miz is still laid out face down as a replay airs of what just happened. The ring crew begins breaking down The Miz TV set. The Miz stumbles to his feet and he's spooked as Rick Boogs' music hits. We come back from the break and out Boogs comes for this rematch. Miz takes the mic and insults Boogs, and says there's no way this match is happening because of what just happened to him. The bell rings anyway and Boogs launches Miz with a big overhead throw. Boogs curls Miz in the middle of the ring now as fans count along. Boogs tosses Miz to the side, then scoops him and presses him high in the air, then down into a power slam for the squash win. Winner, Rick Boogs. After the match, Boogs stands tall and yells out as his music hits. Chelsea Green approaches Adam Pearce in his office. She says he knows who she is by now. She's not just some clown who deserves to be humiliated on national TV. She sent a strong-worded letter to Pearce's manager after what's happened in recent weeks. Pearce says the letters came to him because he runs both shows. He's the one who responded and said he would take her complaints under advisement. Green says then she's sure Pearce will treat her like the star she is. She says she wasn't ready for Asuka last week and wants a redo. Green says she deserves to be in the Elimination Chamber, so why not put her in tonight's triple threat main event? Pearce says that's not happening. Green says she's not leaving his office until he puts her in. Green warns Pearce she will scream if he touches her because she feels very threatened right now. Pearce walks off and Green asks where he's going. Come back, Hello. Still to come, our triple threat main event. Back to commercial. Byron Saxton is backstage with the Judgment Day. Finn Balor says tonight proved they always have the upper hand on Edge and Beth Phoenix, and he's starting to think they like getting beat up every time, which is fine by him because it will happen again at Elimination Chamber. Dominic Mysterio says his pathetic father, Edge and Beth all used to be good but the game has passed them by. Damian Priest goes on and says he will walk out of Elimination Chamber with the WWE United States title, then Rhea Ripley will go on to win the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania 39. Ripley says Charlotte Flair talks like she's on a higher level but the only level she will be on is one below Ripley when Ripley rises up to take the title at WrestleMania, and her rise begins this Saturday when she and Finn beat the so-called Grit couple. The announcers hype WWE Elimination Chamber now? We get a video package on the chamber structure. Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair is shown walking backstage for the main event. Back to commercial. Back from the break and we see what happened earlier with Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn. Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair vs Becky Lynch vs Bayley. We go back to the ring for tonight's non-title main event as Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair makes her way out. Bayley is out next by herself. Becky Lynch is out last. If Bayley or Lynch win this match, they will be added to the Women's Elimination Chamber and it will start as a triple threat. Lynch poses on the ropes as we go back to a picture-in-picture commercial. The match begins during the break with Lynch and Belair going at it after Bayley was sent out. They go at it and Belair taunts Lynch from the middle rope with her backside. They show each other up and go at it again. Lynch covers for 2. Belair with a takedown for 1. They tangle some more and Lynch rolls Belair up for 2. Lynch gets the upper hand again and looks to the WrestleMania 39 sign. Lynch drops Belair with a kick from the head on the apron. Lynch goes to the top but Belair cuts her off, then presses her high in the air. Bayley runs in but Belair tosses Lynch onto Bayley. They trade pin attempts. Lynch shoves Belair and they go at it again. Bayley breaks Lynch's pin up. Belair catches Lynch and uses her to knock Bayley down. Lynch ends up knocked to the floor by Bayley. Bayley runs and drops an elbow to Belair for 2. Bayley ends up going out and sending Lynch into the barrier. Bayley runs back in to cover Belair for 2. Bayley also looks to the sign but fans boo. Bayley manhandles Belair on the middle rope for 2. They trade punches in the middle of the ring now. Belair unloads but Bayley hits a belly-to-back suplex for 2 as Lynch rushes back in to break it up. Bayley with a cutter to Lynch over the middle rope to send her back to the floor. Bayley drops Belair and applies a knee bar now. Lynch flies off the top with a leg drop to break it up, then she covers Bayley for 2 as Belair breaks it up. Lynch and Bayley trade big strikes in the middle of the ring now. Lynch with a springboard back kick. Lynch fights off both opponents and drops them with a double DDT for a close 2 count. We go to another picture-in-picture commercial break. Back from the break and WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Io Sky and Dakota Kai are at ringside now. Kai is still using a crutch. More back and forth and close calls for Lynch and Bayley now. Belair runs wild with the fence now, then kips up and unloads on Bayley in the corner, mounting her with right hands. Belair with a vertical suplex, then moonsault but Bayley gets her knees up. Bayley pins Belair with her feet on the ropes for leverage but Lynch catches her. Belair kicks Bayley away but Lynch grabs her from the top for a super blockbuster, landing on top of Bayley, but Bayley has her knees up. Becky with the manhandle slam for a 2 count on Bayley as Sky breaks it up. Lynch pulls Sky out of the ring and sends her into the ring post. They go on and Kai is on the apron now to save Bayley from a suplex by Belair. Belair ends up grabbing Kai but Sky nails a dropkick on the apron. Bayley takes advantage and rolls Belair up for 2. Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Asuka and Natalya run down to brawl with Sky and Kai at ringside. Carmella and Nikki Cross run down to join in. Cross jumps on Raquel's back, Asuka launches Liv into the barrier. Bayley grabs Belair but Belair nails a spine buster for 2. SKY goes to the top but Belair rocks her, then presses her high in the air. Belair walks with SKY held in the air, then tosses her out onto the other superstars at ringside. Bayley decks Blair from behind. Lynch decks Bayley from behind. Lynch fights off both opponents. Belair sends Bayley into a manhandle slam by Lynch. Belair with the kid to Lynch on top of Bayley. Belair covers Bayley for the pin to win. Winner, Bianca Belair. After the match, Belair takes her title and raises it in the air as we go to replays. Bayley and Lynch will not be going on to WWE Elimination Chamber. Belair raises the title in the air as Lynch and Bayley look on. The announcers hype Elimination Chamber now. We see what happened earlier tonight with Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Damage Control regroups on the ramp as Belair raises the title in the corner. The final Raw before WWE Elimination Chamber goes off the air.